Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia. With me today, we got Brandon.
Yo,
We're here to talk about games and things.
your games and things.
Let's see what did we play this week? Well, Virtual Boy
Games.
stuff came out. Brandon's playing Barbara Streisand Island, and
What? That says
yeah,
Starsand. Bro can't even
Barbara
read.
Streisand. And yeah, that's where we are. Ready to get into it?
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk about my things first because you talked about Romeo's a Dead Man last week. So,
Yeah, but I got more to talk about with it, especially since I finished it.
oh, well, that's good. Anyways, yeah, so my week. So I ended up back in Civ 7 this week. It's been a while since the last time I played it. And actually, I think to your comment from Game of the Year, the game is definitely a lot different over the last year. And I don't know, it was really easy to get sucked into it. So I was playing as a new civilization that did not exist last time I had played it. And they gave it away for free, kind of as like a thanks for your patience kind of thing. But it was the Zedder Teach, like Blackbeard, and like the Pirate Republic, I think is what they call it. Well, it was super awesome, actually. It's kind of like a seafaring, like kind of priority. But they definitely did a lot of good quality life changes, I think, at least in terms of clarifying some things that maybe people had some concerns about. Really, like, I mean, I am actually surprised that like things are so clearly spelled out now when you do things. Like it's almost hand-holdy. But apparently that's what the Civ community wants. So whatever. They could be unhappy with this game the more that as much as they want. I really enjoy the game. I think it's a lot of fun. I still think that the way that it grows, like the city growing, like means and methods, I think it's just very organic, and I think it's really well. I guess there's an update out. I don't know if it's out now or soon, but this just came out like yesterday, where it will let you continue with a civilization through ages and stuff. I don't know how much that is, but one thing that they did kind of change was the continuity between ages. So you are supposed to have like a soft reset between ages to kind of help balance things out, which is something I talked about a bit during the Game of the Year. They fucked that up. I have such a runaway lead right now that I'm in the I started a game this weekend and I finished the first two ages, so now I'm in the final age, third age. And I have such a runaway lead right now. I probably do not have to do anything, and I will win. Like that's where things are. I think that's what people want, but I'm just kind of like that. Kind of defeats that. Like it's. I mean, I guess it's fine to just know you're going to win the whole game, but like there's no real fear of me losing anything at this point in time. So, yeah. So I mean, I think that's kind of a misstep on their part, kind of with the systems change, because the game was designed to be played one way, and they're like, well, we're going to do it this other way instead to make people happy. And I think I've said it before, but I'm okay with giving people options, but just to kind of be like, no, we're just going to completely change this framework to make it fit what people want, even though it doesn't work with the game, doesn't really make sense, especially when it's just a small vocal minority, it seems. But I think the game plays much well. They are still adding a lot of stuff into it, but Civilization, and I saw it again today, a comment, and I think it's true, and it's kind of the same thing that we have seen with a bunch of other games over the years, but I feel like the video game industry really suffers from it the most, where like with games like Civilization or Mario Kart or whatever, where you have these games that they kind of keep building on, iterate over like 5-10+ years, and then you're like, okay, it's time for the new one. There's no way you're going to have like feature parity with those, so it kind of they lose a lot of features, and then they end up getting kind of re-added in again. It is. I understand the frustration there. And I'm not sure what the right way to do it is. I don't know if there is a right way to do it. Because you either go really heavy on the features and end up just blowing a shit ton of money in development, and putting your project like at really high risk, or you come out light and hope that it sells well and you have a good base and you can build it up from there. I don't really know where the good the good happy medium is. Maybe there's somewhere more in the middle that can work a little better. I don't know. But as I said, I have enjoyed this base game, and honestly, I think if this game came out like this, you know, at this time as launch, I feel like people would be pretty happy with it at that point. It is starting to go on sale now too. It's finally hit the that kind of time because it's about the 1 year anniversary, if not already, for that game. So, but I think they added some good stuff. So I'm excited to see what they end up doing with it again, down the road. But I don't really think I have a lot of other exciting stuff to add on to it. Just that it is very notably more enjoyable than last time I played it, and I've already had a really good time with this game. So that's good. The other thing that's kind of like slightly more exciting is my Virtual Boy showed up yesterday. So I got a chance to try it out with the Switch 2, although I haven't got a chance to try out the Virtual Boy NSO stuff yet. So I can't comment on that stuff specifically, but I can comment on the stuff that I did try. So a Virtual Boy machine itself it's really nicely built. From my own familiarity with Virtual Boy, this is like a huge nostalgia trip. It looks and it feels so similar to the original. It's great. I love that. It has like all the knobs and ports and stuff that the other one does, but they're all sealed off. They don't do anything, but they're there. They're tactile. You can feel them. They're like there's a controller port. You just can't plug anything into it. It's sealed off, but it still has like all the plastic bits like it was. It's kind of neat. I like it. The Switch 2 fits in there pretty easily, although there's like a plastic piece you have to swap out if you're going to use the Switch 1. It looks like it involves the screwdriver, which is annoying, but it is there. So that is that. I did try out the VR games that were available for the Switch 1 in the Virtual Boy to see kind of what worked and what's playable. With with the actual like Virtual Boy like style unit where it's got the stand and sits on the table. Not super useful with a lot of those old VR games. So you can play Breath of the Wild pretty easily with it. You might have some vision field issues with it, but because like when I was playing, I'm like, I could see most of the screen, but like I really had to like strain my eyes up into like the top left corner to really see like where all the hearts were. But I could really still play it very easily, kind of playing it like that. That one worked well. The motion control aimings does not work with a controller. So you have to do it manually, but it worked. It worked well. I thought it had some pretty nice 3D effect, and that looked pretty nice, especially with the kind of Switch 2 upgrade kind of thing. It was not as blurry or fuzzy as say what's on the Switch 1, so that's kind of cool. But at the end of the day, you are still like it's not like the most ideal VR experience. You're still really zoomed in on the screen. Like close enough that you can be like, oh, here's the pixels. I can see them, but it does give you like the 3D effect. The other ones are more not as easily playable on the stand version of the Virtual Boy, because Mario Odyssey requires you to kind of look around with your head for a camera, and that's not very easy to do with the Virtual Boy on a stand, unless you want to hold it with one hand and move around with the controller in your other hand, and that's not really necessarily feasible. And there's no way to attach like the Joy-Cons to like the side of the Virtual Boy because that would be weird. So that's that. Same thing with Captain Toad. Although I was able to kind of cheat it. I played like they had a minecart level, so I just held the Virtual Boy in one hand and the controller in the other and kind of looked around with that. I would say Captain Toad actually looks really nice in like the VR mode. Because Captain Toad also had like a Switch 2 upgrade, so like it definitely had a nice up-res, and they did make that carry over into the VR stuff. So that looks really good. And the last one I tried was Smash Brothers, which you can't even play with the Virtual Boy on a stand, even if you just want to watch the computers play, which is silly, because it will not let you control or start a match in VR mode without Joy-Cons attached to the side of the Switch. Period. Full stop. There's no way. However, if you did get the cardboard Virtual Boy, that does not have this problem because it does not have a stand. You should be able to play all these things with that. So that is that. But otherwise, it looks nice. The NSO app is out now. I had it downloaded to my system today while I was at work, so I'm going to try that out after the podcast. Yeah, that's where it is at the moment. In terms of the Virtual Boy, aside from the um what's the word I'm looking for? Aside from the ports kind of being sealed off and like the or the knobs all being like fake, it is very, 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 very similar to the original. Like I said, enough so that I had like major nostalgia just kind of like using it like I did yesterday. It is pretty much the same. Although if you look at side by side pictures, the one that is out for the Switch and Switch 2 is very slightly bigger. I think like myself, without having already seen side by side, I don't know if I would have realized on my own, just kind of like with how it looks and feels. But when you see them next to each other, you can see there is like a little slight difference. But otherwise, it works really well. It's kind of neat how it's designed. It's designed very cleverly, and it works really well with it. It just kind of slides right in from the top, and you can do that. You can also, as for the VR stuff, like I did, you can take off like the red eye plate covering, so you can see things in color. That's what you should do if you're not playing Virtual Boy games. But
Okay.
yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
All right. Then.
Yeah. Any questions on any of that?
No, not at all. I kind of want to. I will say this, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to see if like maybe one of the old like $10 VR things, those things that were all the rage for phones and stuff back in the day, if that could run it. And it can. It can't run it very well, but it can. So there's that. But also, I wouldn't recommend it. But I did see, I was kind of like curious. I downloaded the app just to see what it would look like if I didn't have VR to play it on. And that was interesting. They do like the whole interpolation, like the amount of space between your eyes set up and whatnot, even without it inside of a like thing. But it like warns you absolutely need the Virtual Boy thing right now in order to start this. And I was like, okay, I'll see what it looks like anyway. And then I like saw it, and it's like you got the two little squares, so it's like the old 3D glasses. I'm kind of curious if like you had those old cutout 3D glasses, if that would work.
It probably would. I mean, you don't really need anything fancy. There's even some people on Reddit that are like, "Hey, you don't even actually like really need this. You can kind of cheats it if you do it, this way or the other."
Cross your eyes, and then you'll see it, and it'll come together like one of those little fucking magic pictures. Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, you could. You're probably gonna give yourself a headache, but
it's okay. It'll just simulate what an actual Virtual Boy was like.
Yeah, exactly. Get the whole experience back. But I think it's pretty neat. I mean, I'm very excited to play it out. Wario Land for the Virtual Boy is like definitely one of the best games for that system. So it's great that people will be able to play it again. And there's some other kind of things that are neat. I don't think anyone's going to be spending like records amount of time on it, but I think it's great that they have this stuff available for people that want it. I'm really excited to see what the unreleased games are like, and yeah, it's kind of interesting what they have come in on the pipeline for this one. So, yeah. So I mean, that's kind of my 2 cents on it. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I've been playing. Otherwise, I don't really have anything else at this moment in time. Yeah, enjoyed all your things.
Yeah, I got some stuff to talk about, I guess. So I'm gonna start with Romeo as a Dead Man, because I have been playing Romeo as a Dead Man and I have finished it. And I will say, it is the most Suda 51 game that ever did Suda 51. This game is at times completely incomprehensible with what it is doing. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So there's that. I think it's a very good game. I think it's solid 8 out of 10. But I think there are some things in the game that are 100% 1 out of 10s. Like, no beating around the bush. There is an entire stage that I did not like that culminated in a awful boss fight. I'm not going to say why I didn't like it. Just know that it was very slow, very like meticulously planned out and everything on how it like worked. and it worked really well. And that's the problem. It worked really well.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah, I can't say one thing, but it won't spoil much. But basically, there's an entire stage that turns the game into a horror game, and it is not good.
Okay.
It is literally a horror game. Like, there's no beating around the bush. It's not like a little haha, little silly. No, your next 2.5 hours are going to be playing a horror game, and it's not a very good one.
Okay.
So
That's not good.
yeah, and that's like the one major complaint I have about the entire game. Everything else was fantastic. I really liked it. There is a lot here for people that have played other Suda 51 games. Like, quite literally, we have the protagonist of Flower Sun Rain in this game. There's some allusions and things about the silver case, and this is my own headcanon, and I 100% expect to be wrong, but I swear to fucking god, at one point they even reference Liberation Maiden, the 3DS game.
Oh. Okay.
So I'm not sure if I'm right, but I feel like I am. So if you played all of Suda's back catalog, you'll still won't understand this game. But it's much more fun to see things that you've seen before and be like, oh, I know what that is. But
yeah, that is kind of neat that has those, I don't know, what would you call them, Easter eggs?
No, they're 100% like just characters in the game. I feel like it's just like straight up being like, this is all in the same universe. It goes as far as like, I was expecting at some point for Travis Touchdown to just show up because of how many other characters from different Suda games showed up. And I was like, okay. Or references to other games. Like, I don't necessarily know that it was done on purpose. Maybe it was just like a, wink and a nod sort of deal, like cameos or stuff, but it felt like Suda wanted to say something more with this game, and I just don't know what it is.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. But it is a game where after I finished it, I did immediately want to play it again. Going back in with the knowledge of what I have now. So I probably will play back through this again on like hard mode or something. But again, immediately my brain goes to, you really don't want to play that level again. And you really don't want to play that last stage again either. And that's all I'm thinking. So it's got the usual Suda 51 caveats where it's like, okay, yeah, the game was really good and it had so many interesting ideas and it was really fun to play. But there's those two parts that makes me be like, but I gotta do this again. And I feel like there's something like that in every Suda 51 game, to be completely honest.
Yeah. There always is. He's
But I
always
did
got
like this game
something.
a lot. I did like this game a lot. Digital Foundry ended up doing a like test of this game across every console, and oh boy, it runs really bad on everything. And then they ended up doing the test on PC, and they found the exact same thing I found, which was that the PC settings are literally broken and don't even work and are labeled incorrectly. So I have been vindicated by Digital Foundry. I was right with what I said initially, where it was like, yeah, these settings are wrong. They're either poorly translated or just like incorrectly done. And that's the same thing Digital Foundry found as well. So, granted, me with my experience where I dropped to like 47 sometimes when playing is a better experience than pretty much everyone's going to have on console. So, yay!
Yay! Yeah, he's not always really good at the optimization either.
Yeah, you're right. But it was a very good game overall, and I liked all the little interesting elements of it, like how when you upgrade your character, you do it through a maze, and the maze has different like upgrades that you have to get like the currency to be able to upgrade with, and you actually pilot around a little spaceship, and you find the correct paths in the maze to go down so that you can optimize getting whatever upgrades you want, and they're scattered throughout this entire giant maze. I was gonna do
Hmm.
the crazy thing that they have for the maze, which is to earn 510,000 of the currency in game to unlock a key that would allow me to go to something else. But I decided against it because it was probably going to take me like another 10 hours to grind that, and I just didn't feel like doing it. So there was that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do my first playthrough. Maybe I'll do it like my second or something. Who knows? But yeah, this game has a lot to do with Flower Sun Rain. It has a lot to do with the Kill the Pass franchise, like just in general. So like his entire, Silver Case, Flower Sun Rain, Killer 7. I think No More Heroes is also part of it, but yeah, pretty much everything that's ever been tied to Kill the Past kind of culminates in this game in a way, because the general idea of this game is literally time travel and actually killing the past. So that's kind of cool. So I guess we finally get to kill the past in this game, which is neat.
Oh, good.
Yeah, music's awesome though. A lot of the cutscenes are really fucking cool. To the point where like one of the first, I mentioned this before, but one of the first cutscenes you boot up is literally just a complete model of the city done as like
Hmm.
a claymation model with like stop motion and everything. Spoiler alert, nothing like that is ever shown in the game again. It's just a one-time thing. And that's kind of what happens a lot in this game. A lot of really cool shit happens once and then never again. And it just they don't even act like it happened. They just act like that was completely normal and just whatever, don't ask, stupid, just keep playing. And that's kind of what happens a lot.
Yeah, figure it out as you go.
Well, no, it's not even a case of figure it out. They have like so much multimedia content here. Like they've got comic books that play as cutscenes. They've got the stop motion that I mentioned that will play as cutscenes. They've got an entire Flash animation that plays as a cutscene. They have anime cutscenes, fully animated, and like looks like an actual anime cutscenes. They have cutscenes that are done in game. They have cutscenes that are theoretical and just writing on a screen. They have visual novel cutscenes. They have all these different kinds of things combined into one package, and it flows really well. But it's
Hmm.
just a mess. But it's like the best kind of mess.
And that sounds like Suda. Like that makes
Hmm.
sense. The best kind of mess. Uh, well, most of the time.
Hmm.
It depends on how it falls. Sometimes it could be too much of a mess. Like
Yeah,
that one that I do
sometimes.
not like. Um,
I'm guessing it's uh, Killer is Dead that you
yeah,
don't like.
that's the one. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan.
Well, that's actually in a different universe, I think. So,
Oh, really?
uh-huh.
Interesting.
I started going down a rabbit hole trying to figure out all the different things between the Kill the Past universe because I haven't played Silver Case in a while and I didn't remember most of it. And
Hmm.
also, like, I just wanted to see the Killer 7 stuff that was tied to it because I don't remember what could potentially even be tied to it from Killer 7. So I went through all of that stuff and watched a huge fucking documentary on Kill the Past series. And I was just like, oh, okay. Um, I see what we're doing here. And then I played this, and there's a lot of things that I was like, oh, I can like link this back to that general idea,
Hmm.
but it doesn't exactly like 100% match up.
Hmm.
And that's kind of the feeling I got throughout all of this game, where it's like, yeah, this sort of fits into that, but at the same time, no, not really. And then like the ending was like just I'll talk about the ending at some point in time when we're further down the line and we can talk more about it because this is a game that I would like to extensively talk about, but it's something that I can't really do so this early. I mean, the game's only been out for like a few days at this point, so spoiling the whole thing would just be not okay. But at some point, I do want to spoil this whole thing because it is very interesting to talk about.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, he's got Suda's always got some strange shit going on there. So
Speaking of Suda and strange shit, he announced when he announced the release of Romeo is a Dead Man. He announced the same day, I have another game that's coming out this year
oh
that
really?
you don't know about yet.
Strange.
So I guess now he said it would be announced soon and releasing sooner. So I don't know. I'm just waiting to see now what happens.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's not like he's obligated to announce things at certain times. Maybe he's going to announce it at Summer Games Fest. I mean, I don't know what else is in between here and there.
Is that where Romeo's Dead Man was announced? I think it was.
Yeah, and he usually doesn't get featured on like the big kind of like directs or state of plays.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my guess.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a Devolver thing and does it at one of their events, but usually that's also Summer Games Fest. So
Yeah, I don't know where it would be at. I feel like it's probably just going to be a case of like, hey, he just drops it randomly somewhere. I don't think he's going to do Devolver again. I could be wrong, but I feel like that experience didn't go as well as he wanted it to, and he probably isn't going to do it again.
probably.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, let me just go on to the other game I played then, because I did play 2 games. I
Okay.
played a new game called Starsand Island, which released into early access on PC and Xbox. I think it's on Xbox in early access as well. It is one of those cozy farm life like games. I do think this one's really good though, because there's a lot here, like a whole lot here. You've got all sorts of things like boats and motorcycles and all this other stuff, and the kind of thing you normally wouldn't see in those sort of games, like mounts like ostriches and stuff that you can just ride on. The general way the game worked is very, very laid back, perhaps even more so than most other of these variety kind of games.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose a specific like starting profession. So everyone's going to start out with like crafter because you need to be able to craft things, but you also can like spec into being like an angler or other such things, and do those. You can catch different kinds of fish and put them in an aquarium. All like Animal Crossing. But it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like a combination of like Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing combined together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very good. I've been playing a lot of it, but honestly, it's one of those games that's like it's not really much to talk about. Like there is in general, like quests that you go do, things that you go and get, that sort of deal. But the general idea is you're just kind of living out a cozy farm life, but on this island where sometimes you have to like build the train station or you have to build like the docks so that you can access boats, and then you got to go out into a forest and fight creatures in order to harvest minerals and materials so that you can come back and build said things so that more people can come to the island so that you can have this, that, and the other kind of interaction. And it's really fun. It's something you can really super easily get lost in, and I've played a lot of it. It says I haven't, but I have because I've been playing it in offline mode. And it's just a blast to play. It's really cozy and like very chill, and there's like no stakes really whatsoever. So because of that, it just is something you can just do in the background while chilling out. And I've been
Yeah.
having a lot of fun playing this one. So it comes out later on this summer on like everything, so like Switch 2 and PS5, and full release on Xbox and PC. But the release that's out right now, if you have a PC, is totally fine. It has a lot of content to it, and there's a lot of stuff to play, and they keep updating things like daily, and it's been really, really enjoyable. So yeah, I played that as well.
That's great. Mm-hmm. What else?
Nothing else. I got nothing else to talk about game-wise that I
Oh, cool.
played. Yeah.
All right. Ready to talk about state of play?
Yeah! I got stuff to say about the state of play.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah. I mean, did you see any of it?
No, just some choice things, but not.
Yeah,
I didn't
probably
watch the
not
whole.
any of the actual good stuff or interesting things. All right, so it opened up with so Kena has a sequel. You remember Kena Bridge of Spirits from like I don't remember 2021 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kena Bridge of Spirits came out in 2021. Okay, yeah, 2021. Yeah, they opened up with a sequel to that, which looked good, but it looked like it was falling into a lot of the same problems as every other open world game, which Kena necessarily wasn't, but the spinoff feels a lot more Breath of the Wild like, which is a big problem with every single open world game that's releasing. But yeah, we're gonna move on from that. Just it looked cool.
Okay.
And it's sequel to a game that I didn't think would get a sequel, so that's neat. We then went to Ghost of Yotei Legends, which is the co-op multiplayer for Ghost of Yotei, and I actually liked Ghost of Yotei quite a lot, so I'll probably check this out when it comes out. It's free DLC that comes out March 10th for everyone that owns the game already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Nice.
Yep.
Nice start. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We got Death Stranding 2 PC port announced for March 19th.
Mm-hmm.
It's been rumored for a little while now that Death Stranding 2 will be having a PC port. And, well, I mean, here it is. And it's right there, clear as day. It's coming March 19th. So, there's that.
Okay.
Very, very quick turnaround, I believe, on that one, to be completely honest. So, we saw 4 Loop, which is a co-op game from the oh god, who was it that was working on this? You know, it doesn't matter. It's kind of a generic co-op game, but this time it looked better. Like the first time I saw it, it looked really generic, really boring. This time it at least looked a little bit more interesting with like the ability to go through like portals and shit like that and whatnot. It looked cool. It's basically a third person like survival game, kind of like Helldivers from the looks of it, but I'm not 100% sure because they're not giving us enough info yet. We were showing off then some Capcom stuff, so we saw Pragmata with the playable demo announced for PS5 releasing now. Because Switch and PC, I think, were the only people that had a demo for Pragmata at the time of this the showing.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Switch 2 and PC were the only people that had a Pragmata demo available before this state of play.
Oh, I thought with the Switch 2 unveiling, I thought it was supposed to be on all consoles. It only just came out for the Switch?
Only for the Switch 2. For
Strange.
the demo. Yeah, just like when they announced it for PC, they only released it on PC. So, like, I feel like they're doing it, like, in waves. Maybe they're trying to make sure it's optimized for each individual console they're showing the demo off to. Because I don't think Xbox has it yet. So there's that. So, yeah, moving on from that, we got to see more Resident Evil Requiem, which releases next week. That looked great. I think I messaged you about this. The next thing we saw was Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. Did I tell you about this? I think I put it in.
I saw you were excited about it.
So it wasn't necessarily that I was excited about it. I thought it was really cool that they got back with some of the original developers.
The Pragmata demo is out on the PlayStation 5, by the way.
I know it's out on the PlayStation 5 now. It came out during the state of play. It wasn't.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I misunderstood what you were saying. I thought you were saying that when I asked you about it, I was asking if it was out on the other systems, and when you said PC and Switch only, that's what I assumed. I guess
no. Before this state of play, this state of play is where it came available on PS5.
Okay, it is available on Xbox as well.
Okay, we must have just squeaked that one out alongside the PS5 one, then, or something.
Yeah,
but anyway, Legacy of Kain, Defiance Remastered, is the final chapter in Legacy of Kain. This is a remaster for PS4 and PS5. Comes out March 3rd. But the more interesting thing about this is that the deluxe edition of this remaster also includes a sequel to Legacy of Kain Defiance that got scrapped, and you are able to play what they had worked on before the game got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you get to play a canceled game in the Legacy of Kain series if you
That's
buy
kind
the
of cool.
deluxe edition, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
I also thought it was cool that they were, finishing off the series, since they've had the other ones remastered, but now we've got the final one in the series as well as new content being released too.
Mm-hmm.
We moved on from that to Dead or Alive. They showed off Dead or Alive 6 last round for PS5 because there's no PS5 edition right now, coming out in June 25th. It'll have, just like last round did on PS4 and Xbox One and PC, it'll have like a free play mode, so you can free to play, but you get 2 characters that rotate out like weekly using the free to play mode. But they also then showed a teaser for what I can only assume is Dead or Alive 7, because they just called it New Dead or Alive Project, but it was very much so looking like a fighting game in the Dead or Alive universe. So looks like Dead or Alive 7 was announced here, which is neat.
Yeah.
Bringing that back from that's pretty fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we saw Remedy show off Control Resonant, which is the sequel to Control, where you play as Jesse Faden's brother. This one's very melee focused, has a lot of things like being able to like turn buildings on its side and like stick to buildings and then like reorient your space and fight in different planes of like so if I were to step on the side of a building, I can like flip it around so it looks like the building is just like the ground, and that's where that's what we saw in this shown off for combat and everything. Combat looks very much like Control's combat, but instead of with guns now it's melee, and it's got a little bit of that Devil May Cry feeling to it. It looked pretty neat. I was pretty excited for this one. It looks great, and I'm really excited for the release of it whenever that does come out. There was another game that was shown after this. It was called Crimson Moon. It looked very suspiciously like Darksiders with co-op gameplay in it. It's not, unless it is, but they haven't told us. It didn't really do anything for me. It just looked weird and felt like a Darksiders clone.
Okay.
Beast of Reincarnation, which is that new Game Freak game that looks incredible, and everyone's saying, why couldn't they make Pokemon look this good? That was shown off. It was confirmed that the game will release on August 4th.
Oh, very soon.
Mm-hmm. So that's cool. They showed off Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition, which is what they call a digital museum for Rayman's original game. It shows all the different iterations through development of the original Rayman game. It also has all the different releases, such as like the EU releases, the US releases, the Japanese releases, the releases that were ported to different consoles and stuff like that, all combined in this to be like a celebration of Rayman's first game and the beginnings of the Rayman series, which is pretty fucking cool. It released pretty much within 24 hours of being announced, so that was neat. I haven't looked into it. Looks cool though. Mina the Hollower, which is the next game from Yacht Club Games, the people that made Shovel Knight, was shown off here next, and they announced a PS5 exclusive demo that also released in 24 hours. Have not played that yet. Mina the Hollower looks a bit like Game Boy Zelda's, like the Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, Legend of Zelda's games, and it looks really fun. So I think this game's going to be good. But I've heard that Yacht Club Games is in a bit of a pickle, where if this game doesn't sell really well, they're getting shuttered. So that kind of sucks for them. Yeah.
I feel like they make money hand over fist with Shovel Knight.
Same. I don't know why this was a thing going around, but I've seen several people state now that they will be shut down if this doesn't pan out for them. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it means they're making a very risky game for some reason. Or they've just been really mismanaged. I'm not sure.
I think it's mismanagement, if I had to guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, considering how much Shovel Knight sold, because it's got to be a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, bad news 2 months ago. Bad news. Yacht Club Games Shovel Knight's fame's fate depends on the next game selling at least 100K copies.
Oh, I mean,
So
100K is
it's not
not
even
like,
that much. That's not even that much. Okay.
yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, it's Shovel Knight in here sold over 300 million,
Mm-hmm.
or not 300 million. Sorry, 3 million. I don't know where I got the 100 from. So
Apparently, it says Shovel Knight developers have taken so long to produce a new game, and that has caused them to be stretched thin while working on this one. And if this one doesn't like have immediate success, then they will probably get shuttered. That's what I'm seeing from a bunch of different news sources.
oh, yeah, I feel like 100,000
100,000
for a
doesn't sound
game.
that difficult. It doesn't sound that
No,
difficult, especially when it's in the style of Link to the Past slash, Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, and
yeah,
it looks good.
yeah. As long as it's not like, as long as it's decent, and honestly, feel like even if like really, all it needs to be is decent, and I would
Mhm.
expect 100,000. It doesn't even
Yeah,
have to be
same.
great, just
Yeah, I was thinking that
decent.
too.
hmm
All right, but
So,
anyway, Neva Prologue, which came out next, is another a sequel to an indie hit that came out in 2014.
hmm
With a release date of February 19th, so a sequel to that, which is prologue to the original game. I think I'm not 100% sure of this, but I think someone said this next game, which is called Yako Shinobi Ops, is a game made by the original Tenchu devs. And this is
okay,
a top-down like ninja shinobi kind of stealth action game. It looked really neat. It's not really my cup of tea, but it looked really neat, and it looked like it was like very stylish the way it was made.
okay.
We then saw Project Windless, which is a game where you literally play as a giant chicken
I love how it looks.
defeating, but the shinobi one or Project
Project
Windless.
Windless, the chicken,
Yeah. You play as a gigantic chicken that
like
is,
Chicken Rambo.
yeah, kind of, and this is kind of like a Souls like. This is 100% like a Souls like mixed with like Dynasty Warriors, and it
hmm
looked pretty good to be completely honest. It looked really good. Um, After this, we saw what I would argue was the best game of the entire show, which was Star Wars Galactic Racer.
hmm
This is Star Wars Pod Racer made by the Burnout devs, and it literally looked like Burnout, but in Star Wars, and it looked fucking awesome. Like, it looked awesome. I don't like Star Wars. I don't like modern Star Wars, I'll say that. And
Yeah, that's
I'm
about where I'm
hyped
with
for
it
this
too.
game. I'm hyped for this game. It looked awesome because I love the Burnout games, and it even had like the crash cam that you get from like the original Burnout series. It was in this trailer, and I was like, "This is awesome! I'm really excited for this." So this looks great. And same original devs of Burnout are the ones that are working on this game, so obviously it makes sense why this has the Burnout vibes because it's the original Burnout devs, and it looks awesome. I think this looked great.
Yeah, I had not seen that one.
Give it a look. It's really cool.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the trailer right now. Looks really nice.
Right? And
Yeah.
it definitely has the Burnout feeling to it.
Yes. Reminds me a lot of um fuck's that N64 game.
I don't know.
Like the Pod Racer game.
Pod Racer?
Is that what it's called?
I'm pretty sure it's just called Pod Racer.
Okay. Yeah, but it looks a lot like that. Obviously much better looking because it's not
Yep.
N64. No, but it looks really nice.
Yep. I mean, that's what this is. It's supposed to be like intergalactic racing, pod racing, that sort of deal. But with that Burnout feeling to it, which is awesome because those games are so fun.
Yeah.
Next, we finally got to see more 007 First Light, and this game just looks awesome. Like, legitimately, this game looked so cool. I already like the Hitman games. This very much feels like a Hitman game, but with a 007 coat of paint. But I really like that about it, because the Hitman games can be about stealth. They can be about going in and doing a mission without necessarily killing everyone. And it had that feeling of James Bond being made by the Hitman teams, much like how the Star Wars Galactic Racer looked awesome because of the developers that worked on it. So does 007 First Light. Next is actually a huge one. we got the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 announced, which means you'll finally be able to play Metal Gear Solid 4 on something other than the fucking PlayStation 3.
I know, which is wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I know a lot of people are really excited about. So, because it's what, that Peace Walker and
That's it.
Ghost of Babel, which people are fucking losing their minds about.
Wait, they didn't announce that it was Ghost of Abba.
I
What?
thought they announced it was Ghost of Babel. Metal Gear Collection. Yeah.
Oh,
it has Ghost
wow.
of Babel in there.
It is? What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fucking cool. I didn't know that.
Here you got me making think I'm losing my fucking mind, Brandon. I'm like,
losing mine because
that.
they didn't show that. Unless it was like pre-order and get this as well or some shit, which I missed at the very end of it, I guess. But yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Either way,
that is very exciting. I don't know. I always am tempted to get the Metal Gear Solid 1 collection because I do really like those.
I really want it.
But I think I'm more excited for this one because honestly, I think Peace Walker is probably one of my favorite Metal Gear games, and I love Peace Walker like a lot. I don't know if you remember that. I never played Guns of Patriots, even though I own it.
Really?
Yeah. I think honestly, totally honest, I think that I am just too terrified to play this game because of the cutscenes. That is an investment, and I don't know. I mean, I guess it's nicer with the Switch because theoretically I could just like pop it into.
Here's the way I feel about that now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it is a huge undertaking. A large amount. The movie at the end.
Yeah,
the movie at the end of the game.
90 minutes.
Yeah. But if you think about most games that release nowadays, they are doing a lot of the same thing. You're just holding forward and the movie's being said to you instead and walking slowly dialogue. So I think I'd rather just not have my hand on the controller and watch a movie for 90 minutes than do we gotta walk to this location. Oh, we gotta walk to this location. And there's no combat or anything. It's just some dude yapping in your ear for like 20 minutes while you're doing so. And that's been like a staple of modern games, especially ones made by Sony lately. So, I don't know. I don't think it bothers me as much anymore.
I still think that will be something that would make me want to not play it, but we'll see.
Next, they announced a Metal Gear Solid homage demo for Darwin Project, which is another Konami game that is coming out, where you play as a squid trying to, like... I don't fully understand this one. This one's like a platformer, but also a stealth game, but also, just like a goofy kind of thing, like Octodad, but not. I don't know. I think it looks silly, and I don't dislike it. I just don't really understand what they're going for here. But I like the homage level of Metal Gear Solid being tied into it, so that's neat.
Yeah.
We got a new Castlevania announced after this, because for some reason the rest of the show was basically a Konami show. So
the new Castlevania looks really cool, though.
It does. It's made by the Dead Cells devs. So if you like Dead Cells, you'll probably like this.
Yeah, I mean, it looks nice.
Mm-hmm. After the new Castlevania called Castlevania Belmont's Curse was announced, we then saw Silent Hill Townfall, which I think looks awesome. It is a first-person Silent Hill game. And I actually watched the little interactive thing with the developers after this. The developers made a lot of indie horror games, and I do think they could do a good job with this. And I do think this Silent Hill looks good. Like, I think it looks like a really interesting idea. It takes place in, like, Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy wakes up on, like, crawling out of the ocean, basically. And then he ends up in this town that he's knowledgeable of, but that town has basically become Silent Hill. And that's where he has to fight to, figure out what the hell's going on, basically, in this place that he's familiar with that has become unfamiliar to him because of all the monsters and everything. He has, like, a portable CRT TV that he can use to see through walls and see monsters on the other side of things. And use it to, like, stealth around them and that sort of deal. It looks really cool. It comes out this year. I'll definitely check it out. So, there's that. Rev Noir, another RPG, like anime-ish thing, like very old school-ish. Another game from Konami announced. That was it. We then saw John Wick, which is getting its own video game, so that's interesting. Made by Saber Interactive. There was
Yeah, it looked interesting, but it
there's not a
didn't
whole
really
lot
seem like there
here.
was a lot there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was mostly just, CGI or maybe gameplay in engine or something, but we didn't actually see gameplay, you know what I mean? It's gameplay, but not gameplay,
Yeah.
Marathon then showed off what Marathon looks like now, which I'm gonna be completely honest, Marathon looks really fucking good. Like, really fucking good. And they also announced a server slam where everyone across every platform will be able to play the game from the 26th of February until March 2nd, which is literally leading right up to the launch of the game because the game launches on March 5th. So like this game will be playable almost until release once it starts its server slam, as they're calling it. I think this game looks way better now than it did before. I think it's got the atmosphere down pat. I think a lot of the colors and everything still stand out a lot while having a much less muted tone to it. I was a lot more hesitant about this because I kind of like the muted tone, but now I'm seeing how much it pops out and how it actually works a lot for it while still having the vibrant colors and everything that it did before. I think it looks great. I'm gonna play it once the server slam starts. I'll probably pick this up for PC because I think this will be a lot of fun. There's been a lot of things going around lately where people have been getting hype about this game again, and people actually seem interested in it. So it's gone from like no one giving a damn to like a lot of people giving a damn about this game. So pretty excited to try this one out. I'm gonna give it a go on the 26th, and I might pick it up for the 5th. So is that
Okay.
Then PlayStation Plus announced that they will be putting Tekken Dark Resurrection and Marvel Spider-Man 2 on the service on the 17th, as well as porting Time Crisis to the premium PlayStation Plus service, and you'll be able to play Time Crisis using the gyro and the controller of the PS5 DualSense or whatever. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
We got some Saros gameplay, and I'm gonna be honest, this Saros gameplay is the first gameplay of Saros that I've seen where I was like, that actually looks really good. So I've been like really, really down on this game because I played wow, I almost said controller. I played Returnal, and I loved Returnal. I thought Returnal was a excellent fucking game, still one of the best games that's been released on the PS5/Xbox Series generation, and I thought it was fantastic. I thought Saros looked very, very generic. We saw a lot more in the gameplay they showed us here. We saw the general progression system where there is one where even if you die, there's still progression to be had. That's a soft progression system that keeps you leveling up even when you aren't able to make it through a stage in one go. So it's making a lot of those people that have problems with Returnal's very difficult gameplay happy there. But I believe there's like a balance system where you have to like choose different perks and they always have to balance out. So you can have like a perk where it's like, hey, you don't have to like reload your gun, but also now you take 4 times the amount of damage from enemies, and that's like the way it balances out something like that or whatever. And it's kind of like a risk and reward system. It's kind of like a risk and reward system where you have to actually balance what your character build is going to be like. And it looks really neat. Very interested in how this game is going to turn out. This, like I said, is the first this game has looked good to me yet. But the fact that we are very close to launch with April 30th being the release date, and we're now seeing the more interesting areas, the more interesting story bits, the more interesting mechanics, that gives me a lot more hope because we're so close to the release of the game now, and they're actually showing the stuff that looks good now. So probably we'll end up picking this one up later on down the line because it looks awesome. Then we jumped over to the Marvel fighting game where we showed off some more characters with Magic and Wolverine and Danger, and I mean it looked good. It's a Marvel fighting game. It's made by the people that made Guilty Gear. It looks great. August 6th is where it's coming out.
Yeah, it's
And
got a nice
then
art style to it.
yeah, I really like the art style. I think it looks great. Yeah, so I'm gonna go over these last two things now, and then we'll be done.
Okay.
So there was a one more thing, and it was actually in two more things, but I'll go over the first one. So first, we saw the original voice actor of Kratos, and he finally announced the God of War Greek trilogy remake. That's
Uh-oh.
it. He says it's now in development at Santa Monica Studios, and that a lot of the original people are coming back to work on it, like voice actors and stuff like that, including himself, and that it's in very early development starting now. Which it's a whole nothing burger, but we're gonna move on
Yeah.
from that. A lot of
Mhm.
people were like, "Oh, okay, well, they'll probably censor it a lot," which I do believe they'll end up censoring the trilogy, pretty heavily. But there's a reason why I believe that, and we're gonna go over to that reason now
Okay.
with God of War: Sons of Sparta, a prequel game that is a Metroidvania game
Yeah, it's been
where
rumored for a little while.
yep. Where you play as, I guess, young Kratos and people from his group. And I don't really know what's going on here. I think it looks pretty decent, but the art style looks a little generic to me personally. And also the fact
Mhm.
that this is the first T-rated God of War game, it kind of rubs me the wrong way and makes me feel like it's a way to kind of get people into what the new trilogy is going to lead to, because I do think the new trilogy is going to be heavily censored from the original trilogy. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I could say.
this is a God of
Yeah.
War Metroidvania game that's rated T for teen. You've got a lot of the stuff censored that wasn't in the original game in this one. I'm not sure if it's because they're doing it with the pixel art aesthetic and they don't want to really like have flapping Gorgon titties everywhere or anything like that, or what. But some of the more risque things in God of War are not in this God of War. And I've heard that this game is incredibly long, like 20 plus hours for a
Oh, really?
Metroidvania. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and that it is okay to good. That is basically what I've heard.
Okay to good. Don't
Yeah. So
oversell
like,
it.
yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm not selling it all because I'm not buying it because it's a $30 Metroidvania game, and I feel like that's just a tax because of the God of War name, more or less. We live in a post Hollow Knight Silksong world
Hmm.
where you can get a shit ton of content and a really good game for $20, and this doesn't look half as good as Silksong. So,
No.
I don't think it's worth the $30 price tag. I'll probably wait until there's a sale on it and then check it out. But it is what it is.
Okay. Okay. Why does James Bond look like Jeff Keighley?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's got a nice look to it, though. Actually, I think that game looks great. I'm kind of interested to see how. Hopefully, it plays well. But it looks good. I mean, that's honestly, I think, is definitely a good state of play for Sony overall.
I think this was honestly a solid 8 out of 10 state of play. It was a very good state of play. One of Sony's best that they have had in several
A
years.
long
Because
time.
oh yeah,
Yes. A very long time. I agree.
they've been rather weak
Um,
lately. So this was a very good breath of fresh air.
okay. Yeah.
But if you go to the internet, don't worry, they'll tell you how awful this state of play was, and I'm just like, you guys don't like games, like you just don't. It's as simple as that.
Also very possible.
Just stop pretending that you do.
Yeah, I don't know. People are just so I don't know. I think that just maybe it's just the internet community these days and just kind of the negative attitudes, but I don't know. People just get so pissy about like little things. So,
Mm-hmm.
like even too, like there was a rumor this last week or so that, and I feel like this happens every year.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a rumor that they're gonna re-release some of the classic Pokemon games on Pokemon Day, but as standalone games instead of NSO.
Yeah, I figured as
And
much.
yeah, no, exactly. It makes a lot of sense. But I commented on Reddit, and I was like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, they're going to resell
They're gonna
these,
nickel and dime the
and
fuck out of everybody.
yeah, and I got downvoted for it, and I'm like, don't know what the fuck you guys think. Like, this is what they're doing. Like, and they're like, well, I think they were kind of trying to say like it was them not being greedy, and I'm like, they're gonna make so much more money by selling them separately than by releasing them as streaming on NSO. Like who do you think? Like, a a lot of people look at the Pokemon company as Nintendo, but they are separate. Nintendo only owns like a third of them. So what do you think at the end of the day they want? Like a very small portion of streaming sales, which is, as you know from Xbox Ultimate, not generally very productive for a lot of places? Or do you think they want to resell those standalone games for like, they're going to sell them for $20 a piece? You know this.
Oh no, it's
Um,
like 25. I think it's gonna be more, way
my
more
money's
than
on
20
20.
bucks.
We'll see. I guess it depends on how fancy they make these. If they do exist, depends on how fancy they make them. But you think about it, like, okay, if they make it $20, that's the same cost as a year of streaming for NSO. Um, so yeah,
I
that
would
is that.
I would
And
pay
there's
twenty
going to be
dollars
people
for
who are going to
Pokemon
buy
Pinball.
both of them, huh?
I'd pay $20 for Pokemon Pinball.
Pokemon Pinball though, they'd probably put you on NSO. I think it would
Oh my
really
god,
be
please
more
do.
like,
I would be really happy if they did.
yeah, because it seems like, at least from so far, I mean, what do we already have announced for NSO? Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, we
Hmm.
know, because that's already out.
Yeah, Red's on there, isn't it?
Yes.
Hmm.
And then they announced the, Coliseum and stuff. And then on N64, there's the Puzzle League and
Oh yeah, that's right.
Stadiums. Both stadiums are on there. So they
Hmm.
don't care about the spin-off games, but they've obviously not released any of the core games. Yeah,
Hmm.
there's no fucking way that they're releasing those as like on streaming. People are crazy. They're gonna sell those for $20 a piece, and they're gonna probably sell
I'll be
like,
honest. I have another hot take. I don't think they're going to release them at all. I think this is all just bullshit that someone made up and is expecting to be a real thing. But this is something that would be good for the
Mhm.
Pokemon
Oh
community,
yeah.
and that is
Mhm.
why it's never going to happen.
Also fair. That's also not an unrealistic
I
take
mean,
either.
let's be honest. Nintendo's Pokemon company hates Pokemon game fans. It's just that's as simple as that. They don't
Mhm.
like the old Pokemon games. They don't want them to exist. I don't know, man. I
Well,
don't
they
think
want
they
them to
will
exist.
ever
They
sell
just
them
want
back
to
to us.
resell them to you. That's the thing.
I don't think they do. I think they want to leave that shit behind because they don't want to have to deal with what it would be like integrating that into the Pokemon Championship League bullshit and whatever.
No, that's easy. It's all the home. It's just all integrated in a home, and that's not too hard from where they already are. I mean, they did it with NS or not NSO. They did it with Virtual Console with the 3DS, so easily able to be done already. Um,
I meant not necessarily. Okay, let me see if I can think this through so I can word this. I don't have enough information, but I do have enough information. But I'm not
mhm.
smart enough to give this info. But let me try and do it anyway.
Okay.
So the way Pokemon
Hmm.
in the original Pokemon games were
Hmm.
designed
Hmm.
makes them different from the way they are when they were released in other Pokemon games in later series. Like they
Kind
have
of.
different IVs, different moves, that sort of deal. So I don't think they would want to have to go back and deal with a Charmander from original Red being brought into a tournament for modern day Pokemon.
But they can
That's what I
already
was
do
trying to
that.
say. Can they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I can, if I turned on my 3DS right now,
Hmm.
I can open up the Virtual Console to my copy of, I think I have Pokemon Yellow. I also have Pokemon Crystal. I can send those through the chain up to Pokemon Home with no problem. I have Pokemon from those games already in
Mm.
Pokemon Home.
Okay.
So it's that logistic that's already been addressed.
Okay.
So there's that, and they've done some smart things on home over the last couple of years now too, where it's like Pokemon will have different kind of information stored with them
Yeah.
depending on what game they're being used from. So it's like,
Okay.
okay, well, it's like, you send your Charmander to Pokemon Red, it's going to have this move set, but then if you send it to, say, like Pokemon, I don't know, what's a modern one? Pokemon Scarlet. It can have a different move set there. But once it goes back to home, it's just kind of like that's its neutral version. But it still retains the information of where it was caught from, the original trainer, those kind of things. That's all kind of stored there. But they kind of fix that with I think it was Legends Arceus, because Arceus had, if you remember, some different things that were integrated into it. So their kind of smart workaround was like, hey, we'll just have it kind of revert back to like a kind of a default setting when it goes back into home, and then it will just basically be a new version of that Pokemon, not stats wise, but in terms of its move set when it goes into a different game. So its move set will be kind of reverted to whatever is appropriate for that game as you transfer it around.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that makes more sense, and I didn't know that. I also had forgotten about the new 3DS versions of Pokemon that released. So I was banking on mostly not many people would have taken them all the way from Pokemon Red, like Game Boy original cartridge, to Pokemon Home, and that's why it was easier for them to, handle that situation. Whereas if it was much more widely available, then it would be a more difficult task. And I thought that's what.
Issues.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought was happening. I didn't know about that, and I'd forgotten about it being on new 3DS as well. So
yeah, I honestly, it feels like it's like forever ago now. But theoretically, like realistically, even still to this day, like if I wanted to, I could find my copy of Pokemon Red, throw it into a Game Boy, catch a Pokemon, and arduously transfer it up the chain to Pokemon Home. It is still possible. Okay. So this day, like even with that, so it's not super far-fetched. And in terms of proposals that I've seen for them re-releasing Pokemon games, this actually seems kind of the most realistic, which is why I'm like, okay, I could see this. And the rumor specifically was, I should clarify too, it was Pokemon Leaf Green, Pokemon Fire Red, specifically the Game Boy Advance versions of those games. And like I said, knowing Nintendo's pricing from last gen, those would have been like $10 titles, which means now they're probably like slap on some minor feature and sell it for $20. That's my theory.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. We'll see how it goes, but I think that's what it's going to be. And then, like I said, it's going to end up being shitty because you're going to have people who are going to be like, well, I need Leaf Green and Fire Red. So then you're going to end up spending $40 on two Pokemon games. Where most people would get more than enough good value out of streaming for it. So,
yeah.
So that's that. Anyways, what else do you want to talk about?
I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else either. That's all I got. Ready to wrap up?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. All of our episodes are also available on game-crunch.com. And if you want to send a message, you can reach us at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon.
Yep.
Any final thoughts?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay. That said, my name is Mike Anastasia. Find me online, Clash Penguin there, or on your favorite gaming console. Until next week, game on.
Game on.
We set our sails from a pixel bay, stone to steel in a single day. From a muddy camp to a shining throne, one click, one crown, one flag my own. Scouts come back with a tale to tell, newfound lands and a neighbor's hell. Sharpened tongues or sharpened spears, mark my age, my golden years. Game on, raise your mugs and carry on. From the ancient dawn till the last turn's drawn. Game on, every map's a siren song. Sing it loud and sing it strong. Game on, game on. Trade winds blow through the harbor screen, silk and spice in a glowing green. Do I sign that deal? Do I take that prize? Or rush those walls and storm the skies? Great minds burn through the starry night, books and rockets, faith and flight. One more turn, I swear, than bed. 10 wars later, I'm king instead. Game on! Raise your mugs and carry on. From the ancient dawn till the last sun's gone. Game on. Every mouth's a siren song. Sing it loud and sing it strong. Game on. Game on. Old friends turn foes on the victory track. Hey! Smile around the table with a knife behind their back. Will we trade that peace for a borderline or toast the world while our scores entwine? Game on! Raise your mugs and carry on. From the ancient dawn till the last turn's drawn. Game on! Every mouth's a siren song. Sing it loud and sing it strong. Game on! Game on! Game Game on!
All right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it for me too.
That's
I got
all
nothing else.
Nothing else. I'm trying to think. I'm like, even if I have like anything else. No, not really. Not at the moment. Yeah. So I guess I'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. I'm gonna go get me some honey mustard because I only gave me one fucking pack.
What did you get to eat? I think it's. I don't. Maybe you mentioned.
I
it.
just
didn't hear
got
it.
Burger King with some chicken fries and everything, but they didn't give me the fucking French fries.
Oh, you didn't get French. You did like a meal and didn't get French fries.
Correct.
Fuck that.
Yeah, right.
I know. That's one of the best. Burger King, I think, is my favorite fries out of all the places. All the fast food places is what I mean.
Mine used to be Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A's fast food French fries were fucking amazing.
I've
but-
never had theirs.
Well, you never will because they changed the recipe and now they taste like dog shit. So
That's how I felt about Wendy's. I used to love Wendy's fries, and then they changed it to what this monstrosity
I will
they have now,
I
and
will
hate
tell
them.
you what the absolute best French fries are,
Yeah.
like hands down, no contest. Either Popeyes, if you have a Popeyes near you and you can go there without having to deal with the repercussions of going to a Popeyes,
I like
or
Popeyes. I've never had their French fries.
their French fries are legitimately the best French fries.